What's up, KGS Headmaster here, and welcome back to another KGS Headmaster Assembly. Now, fortunately, this lockdown, you are not having to suffer having me coming across on the YouTube screens 5 days a week recommending movies, music, video, the lot. This is just a Friday assembly, but I'm going to have lots of news, lots of catch up with you, lots of things to announce. I've got lots of notes. I've got to get through, lots of thank yous, lots of congratulations, and hopefully lots of things will pop up on the screen so you can see some of what I'm talking about. But let me kick off with the fact that we want to make this 5 weeks all about you and around the themes that we've developed. So whether you're the newest entrant in the first year or the oldest hand in the upper six, and you're watching this thinking, what on earth's going on? You don't need a YouTube account. You can just go on. You do need an account to like and subscribe. But look, I'll live without the likes and the subscriptions as long as you're watching. But give me some feedback. What I really want to do is say, you know the themes now. This is the end of week one. We've had that theme, and I'll come back to it. The importance of the NHS and key workers. You know the themes for the weeks ahead. Diversity, community and charity, all the way through to at the end of the fifth week. What are our hopes for kind of the future? Vaccines being rolled out. Maybe we've got hopes beyond that. What's going to happen next week, next month, next year, next 10 years. So if you guys want to make a video about that, if you want to do the assembly, because you know that if we were in school, we've been encouraging you guys to make that assembly, then do it. Make it individually, collectively. Send me the video, send it to your head of year, and we'll put it out there, and it'll be your assembly rather than you guys having to listen to another shamelessly stolen introduction, what's up, KGS Headmaster here, etc, etc, etc. But for now, I am here. It's Friday assembly. It's the end of the week. You've done brilliantly well. We've got to the end of the first week. And the first thing to say is, what's new? Well, a bit like me, we're getting dressed to impress. We're getting up. We've got cameras on. I know it's a little bit difficult from last time, a little bit different rather, and can be a bit difficult. But it's really important to be able to see you so that we're teaching to people that we can see and interact with, and that you're able to interact with the member of staff, and we can see you're okay. So maybe some teachers are saying not cameras on all the time. Maybe it's come on, go off. But we've also got more pastoral care, we've got more sports and activities, we've got more co-curricular. So we're trying to make this as normal as possible in abnormal times in terms of all of the diverse things on offer, all the opportunities, and part of that is seeing you. So make sure in the mornings you get up, you're registered, you're dressed. Doesn't have to be school uniform, big let off there. Doesn't have to be even PE kit, but you do have to be dressed, not in a onesie or your PJs. Get that camera on, say hello, and let's get interacting, and that's a really, really good thing to do. Some people I'm sure might have had a line one day this week because it was their birthday. So let's just run through. We've had loads of birthdays this week. Kicking off with Freddie hitting the big 1-8. I won't do surnames in case people want to avoid embarrassment, but the truth is you'll know who you are. So Freddie was 18 this week. Many congratulations, Freddie. Daisy, the slightly less big 1-3. Many happy returns, Daisy. James, 17. Elizabeth, 13. Angelina, the 1-6, the big 1-6, that's big in its own right. I think he's got 16, 18, 21. Are these still the massive stepping stones that they were in my day? So Angelina, many happy returns to you. Sophie Thomason was also the big 1-6 this week, so many happy returns, Sophie. Leo was 13. Sophie Hunt, the big 1-6. I said I wouldn't do any surnames. Sophie, the big 1-6, many happy returns. Just a brief name check, call it a name check. Where we've got Oliver with 12, so Oliver in the first year, Rania in the first year, 12 as well. Fran, the big 1-8. I nearly said Fran, but Fran, many happy returns, congratulations. Alicia, 17, Alice, 17, Rowan, 15, and Will in the first year, 12. So you know who you are because I've given your ages in case there's more than one. Well, there is definitely more than one, Alice and Rowan, whatever, but you're all individual and special, but without your surnames, it's just make sure we identify. But you know it's your birthday. We wish you many happy returns. We really wish you had a great week. Really hope you had a great week and wish you all the best with family, with friends, and many happy returns to you all, whether you're hitting the big 1-6, 1-8, or just having a 12, 13, 14, 15, 17. Hope you had a great week. So what else have I got here? I've got a massive thank you to the people that appeared in Bassett, which was obviously just before the lockdown. So many congratulations to Mr. G and the team, all the characters. So if you have missed this, you can get it on, I think, Microsoft Stream via the school. You can get it on YouTube. So this was our students performing Bassett in kind of lockdown, kind of COVID scenarios. So all individually kind of scripted and recorded. So a massive undertaking. Do have a look. It's a great play and they did a great job. So we got Jasmine, who played Kelly, Fionn played Rachel, Lavisa and Lucy shared the role of Joanne. Maya was Shanti. Ophelia was Amy. Hannah was Lucy. Eleanor was Zoe. Louis apparently gets the Academy Award from Mr. Beard. Was Leo. Benny was Spencer. Alicia was Amira. Freddie played Russell. Milo was Jonathan. Will was Dean. Ben was Graham. And Ava was the assistant director assisting the maestro himself, Mr. G. So many congratulations to all of you. I loved it. So, it's always great for me to perform a piece of theatre, to get kind of step outside yourself, take on a character. I think you guys did a great job. So if you haven't seen it yet, do go and see it. That's Bassett with obviously the middle school. So brilliant job there. What else have we got in terms of announcements? Now, the importance of the NHS and care workers. We've got the competition going for some brilliant entries from Isabella, Melody, who got Sophia, Sophie, who else have we got in here? We've got loads of lovely different things. Daniela, Jessica. We've had poems, we've had stories, we've had paintings, we've had drawings. Hopefully some of those are going to pop up on screen. You'll be able to see some of them. Now, everybody who's submitted anything to do with the importance of the NHS and care workers, any little bit of work, there's a commendation. Hopefully that'll come from the teacher you submitted it to. If it gets to me, and I love it, and I love everything I've received so far, I'm going to be working over the weekend to dish out some headmasters commendations, but I'm also going to be selecting from those who's going to get the £25 Amazon gift voucher that you will receive in your email next week. So could be one person that steals the show, could be two or three of you, but you've done some great work. I really appreciate you getting involved with the initiative. I think the efforts you've gone to have been amazing. Got some brilliant drawings, some brilliant poetry, some brilliant stories, some brilliant paintings. Why not come on and do an assembly about it? So guys, the floor is yours. Just make sure you get involved with the theme. And again, I'm going to come back to the theme in a minute. What else have I got? I've got one more little thing. So normally I do a lot of movies and records and try and have that theme, but I thought NHS care workers, you could go for Doctor in the House, Carry On Doctor. You could go for Doctor, in terms of music. You could go for Dr. Robert. I'm not sure he was ever a proper doctor. Someone from that era might know whether Dr. Robert was actually a doctor or not, but I suspect not. I think it was just a self-aggrandized title that some pop star gave themselves to sound important. But actually, I am going to recommend a book. I'm going to recommend Intensive Care by Gavin Francis. And it's all about, it might be a little bit for slightly older readers, might be something you get as a gift for your parents. A GP who works split between the Orkney Islands and Edinburgh. So we know just like in a city, just like in rural areas, about the outbreak of COVID, about dealing with it. But most importantly, as a very sympathetic, heartwarming tale, it's about how much people can achieve when they come together as a community in order to look after each other. So that's Gavin Francis, Intensive Care, brilliant book about the COVID crisis. I'm sure there'll be more books and analysis and things to follow. And I think in terms of just understanding things from other people's perspectives, what's going on in the country, as a nation, other parts of the world, I think it's a kind of a great starting point and a great piece of writing, a great piece of work to be highly recommended. So there we go. That's the you can watch movies and films and TV shows and listen to music about doctors, NHS care workers if you want, but have a read of Gavin Francis if you get the opportunity to, or buy it as a gift for somebody who may well want to, and you can share it with them too. So here we go, the theme. Why this theme for this week? Well, I think I've missed, the fact that this lockdown is harder. It's because we've been in it before. And so people running around again, kind of stockpiling toilet rolls and doing all kinds of things that we kind of tut at and morally disagree with in our country. And other people saying, well, I've done it before, it doesn't work. And then we're starting to get videos online about people saying, oh, it's all a bit of a conspiracy. I can see an empty corridor somewhere. An empty corridor does not equal an empty hospital by any means. In fact, we know our hospitals are full. We know the numbers of people with COVID. We know the numbers, the particularly kind of terrible fatalities. We know that actually we're in the worst part of the crisis. We know why, therefore, despite the fact that the days are shorter, the nights are longer, the weather's not so good, actually why it's important, despite all of the things we may have liked to do, that it's incredibly important that we are in lockdown. And we are in lockdown to protect ourselves. But not everybody can protect themselves, and some people will have done so and will in the future contract COVID, and then they will pass it on inadvertently, and therefore there will be a growing number of cases. And we need to give our NHS and our care workers the opportunity to deal with that. We need to make sure that we're not treating this lightly, so that we're doing the right things, whether it's hands, face, space, or whether it's, stay at home, protect the NHS, save lives. All those mantras, they all mean something. And I have to confess to you, when I first heard protect the NHS, I was listening as I do, reading one thing, listening to another. When that first came out, I thought it was respect the NHS. And I thought, that's brilliant. Yeah, of course we should respect the NHS, because I think a lot of people lose respect for public institutions until they need it. And then they gain huge respect for them when they do, because they realise the important job that they do. And I think it's hugely important that we protect and respect the NHS and all our care workers for the magnificent job they do, putting themselves on the front line. We heard earlier this week from Mrs. McFarlane and other heads of year and tutors. We've heard about people very close to us, some alumni, some family, everyone from Dr. Betty to Sister Ruth. We've got people who are paramedics, ambulance drivers, care home workers, nurses, doctors. These people are on the front line. They are at risk, but they are helping to save lives and look after other people. We also know that we have nearly 100 parents involved with work in the NHS, including the Nightingale hospitals. We know we have alumni, hundreds of alumni involved in the NHS. We know that we have parents and alumni that are involved to the extent they've received honours from the Queen in recognition of their fantastic work, both recently and in the not so distant past. So we know we have people very close to us involved in the NHS. And I think it's really important that we had this theme, because sometimes it's very easy to become, or to want to be liked. We can use that great historical example of leaders who desperately wanted to be liked. They wanted to make popular decisions, even though they were sometimes very unpopular characters. You can take a famous Italian fascist leader who, when he was a teacher, decided that the best way of controlling his classes was to give out sweets. I don't think you'd find many of us doing that as a way of kind of controlling behaviour, because actually what you want is respect for your teachers and respect for your leaders. It's not about popularity and whether you like them or not, it's about whether you respect them. And if you take it back to that NHS medical analogy to its most basic form, you really like the person that when you scrape your knee for the first time, gives you that first plaster and puts it on your knee and makes it all feel better. You don't like the person so much who comes along and rips it off when it's better, or you don't like having to do it yourself, and then people go for warm baths and all kinds of things, because actually it's quite painful taking a plaster off, or it can be. But you respect the fact that that person has done the right thing to look after you, giving you attention and care, and actually part of the right thing is taking that plaster off at some point. Now, multiply that, amplify that by hundreds of millions of thousands in terms of the importance of where we are now. It's not about being liked and being popular in terms of some of the kind of political messages and some of the social media messages. It's about respect. And our doctors, our nurses, our NHS workers, our care workers, they have our utmost respect because they do the most difficult job, but they make the most difficult decisions. They don't court popularity. I've heard on a number of occasions. So Dr. Oxford, Rachel, one of our Twitter characters, often says, look, thank you for the applause, the banging of saucepans, the tambourines. But actually, stay at home, look after yourself, do the right things, protect the NHS, respect the NHS, and save lives. So that's why it was hugely important to me this week to have that as a theme, so that we reminded ourselves of who the really crucially important people were at this time, why we're in lockdown in terms of protecting the NHS from potential collapse, as we were led to believe. The numbers are astronomical, and we need to all do the right things. And if we needed any more kind of reassurance about that, the respect for people, about actually doing the right thing and not about courting popularity, I'll go back to the founder of the NHS, Nye Bevan. Not to be confused, by the way, with Ernest Bevin, which some people do in history. Two Bevins, Nye Bevan, the guy really set the NHS in motion, who, when they started charging patients for things like prescriptions, eye tests, dental checkups, because they wanted to divert the money into a rearmament fund in the 1950s, he resigned from government. He said, it's free at the point of care. Now, of course, that hasn't been sustained entirely in the modern age. But if you look at his judgment, his actions, he set it up, he instigated it. There wasn't something like that in the world until we set it up in the UK. Nye Bevan is kind of the founding father, if you like, of the NHS. But when money began to be diverted out of it, he was very much, I am not having any truck with that. And I think we shouldn't have any truck with people who in any way, shape or form, in any way suggest that we shouldn't protect ourselves, protect the NHS, respect what's going on, and respect our NHS doctors, nurses and care workers, because they're all doing a phenomenal job. So keep your submissions coming in. Thank you for all your support. Thanks for your great work this week. Keep it going throughout Friday. Then have a great relaxing time over the weekend. Hopefully there won't be too much in the way of homework. Can't promise, but hopefully not too much. I really do look forward to seeing you all soon. And drop me a like, drop me a subscribe, drop me some feedback, create your videos. Until then, what else can I say? It's Headmaster out.